Stay with me if you wanna.
Hey guys, welcome to another Unity tutorial today, and this is going to be specifically about UI and adding sound effects and button clicks specifically to UI buttons within Unity, and this can work with a lot of different sort of UI elements that you might have within your game. So I'm going to use my free menu system as an example to this. You can actually find it on the asset store if you search SpeedTutor, and you can download my free menu system, and I will link it in the description too. When we create a button in Unity, what we can normally do is we can right click in the hierarchy, choose UI, and go to button. And my example here is that I've already got a set of buttons. And this new game button is just as you expect any button to be set out. It's got a text element for you to update the text with whatever you like. It's got the button component which controls when it gets highlighted, what colours it changes to, and how you can navigate to it. You can use the OnClick event, which is usually part of the actual button commands. So when you click, left click, it will be able to do something based on what you choose. So if I give you the example and add the little plus in here, we'll add another event that will happen when we left click. We can have an object that we're looking for, and you'll want something that's got an audio source on it, so we could realistically create a new object, let's say. So we could right click, create empty, and for this instance we could just have this as audio. We'll do is we'll add an audio source to that object. So I'll just type in audio and select audio source, and what we can do is I'll add this UI mono click that I've got. I can just add it to my audio source. I don't want it to play on a wake, I just want it to do it when we ask it to do something. So we can go back on the actual new game button. I will drag the audio into the actual game object slot that it's looking for, and it'll say that it has no function, and we want to select the audio source and we want to just say play. So when we click on that button, we're going to just get the play sound. So I will give you the example. It already makes a click on the buttons, if you can hear that, because I've already added it, but if I left click, you will hear that there was a click on that actual button itself. So that's one way that we can add a click when we actually click on the button. But one of the other things that I've got here already is called an event trigger, and you can add an event trigger to this. And an event trigger is something you can do on a mouse enter, a mouse exit of the UI buttons or the UI system that you've got. So you can add a component. You can start by typing in event, and you can add something called an event trigger. And now with your event trigger a component added, you can click to add a new event type. So you have a whole host of different ones that you can use. So you can have on pointer enter, exit down, pointer up, click, and loads of different stuff that you might want to use. So it's entirely up to you, but in this case we're just going to use pointer enter. And you can see that the list, just like with our button, we need to give it something to do because it's just another event type. So we can click plus, and you can see that we've got a runtime object, so we need to add something that's going to create or play our audio. So we can add that game object again, which had our audio source on, where it says no function, so we can select audio, and we can just say audio source dot play in this instance. So like I said before, we can press play, and you can see that all my buttons have that event trigger on it, and every time I hover over them, which technically is my mouse entering the button, you can hear the effect. So that's a really, really easy way to add sound effects for your entering and exiting, and you can vary it by having a different button sound depending on what you have for your scene. So these are two simple ways, and obviously you can add more event types. So you can say like when my pointer exits, so when your mouse moves away, you could have a different sound effect. So hopefully this helped you out. And I did create a Patreon recently. If you're wanting to support the channel, do take a look at that. But thanks very much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Cheers.